I came across this video because I was on Twitter per usual. As you guys know, I spend all day on Twitter. Um, and I came across this video of Triple H sitting down with Stephen A. Smith. Now, I saw that Stephen A. Smith put out this video earlier, a sit down interview with Triple H on YouTube. Obviously, I ignored it. I wasn't gonna watch it. Probably still, I'm not gonna watch this entire interview. But something very interesting came out of that interview earlier. And as you guys know, I spend all my time on Twitter. So I came across this video and I figured, you know what? Let me just go ahead and make a video about this. I haven't done a video in a while, so figured I'd go ahead and do a video about this because this does grind my gears. First of all, before we even get into my actual tweet, let's go ahead and get into what Triple H said on the Stephen A. Smith show earlier.
I think that people lose perspective of sometimes is we're just fun, man. We're fun, and sometimes people take it too seriously. Sometimes people
and first of all, I don't know why Stephen A. Smith is like why is Stephen A. Smith of all people sitting here, and why is Triple H giving this information to somebody like Stephen A. Smith who doesn't even watch the product? But that's neither here nor there.
Get too caught up in it, but it's there to entertain, man. If you want to, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world. If you just want to turn off for a couple of hours and tune into something cool that you can just lose yourself in and have a good time, WWE is a place to do it. And if you've never seen it live, I'm telling you, come to a live event, come to one of our PLEs, come to a TV. There's nothing like it. I think.
So let's go back to the part where he says sometimes people take it too seriously. He's trolling, fam. He's covering his ass like a mofo. You want to know why? Because let me ask you this: would Triple H be saying this 10 years ago? When he was the end all be all, the last line of creative at NXT, the head honcho, who we used to call the Magic Man, the Magic Booker, 10 years ago, the history that he made in that era of NXT, would he be saying this exact same thing to actual fans, not the people that aren't wrestling fans yet, not the people that have never watched a day of NXT or Raw or SmackDown, but would he have said this to an avid wrestling fan 10 years ago? No. Would he have been saying this 20 years ago when he was in the main event scene still? No. Absolutely not. Again, to an actual fan. Now, on the outside looking in, if you're somebody that wants to be a fan or is looking at wrestling like, I know about this pro wrestling stuff, but I don't know too much about it. I've heard about it. I've seen, obviously I know the Brock Lesnar's, the Stephen A. Smiths of the world is exactly who he should be talking to in this sense. But take out the sometimes people take it too seriously. Because what is this? Do you think that the people in your locker room, the wrestlers, the guys and gals in your locker rooms that travel 300, well, maybe not anymore. I guess they don't travel 300 days anymore. They get a lot of time off now. But do you think that the people that work for you are going to be pretty much singing the same song that you're singing on Stephen A. Smith's podcast right now? I don't think so. I'm gonna just throw this dart out there, put my hand on my eyes, throw the dart, and just say, I don't think they would do that. Now, obviously, if they're asked on a platform like such as Stephen A. Smith's or I guess ESPN, which is pretty much the same thing, they might be saying the same thing because obviously you're the big boss and obviously they don't want to go against you and say something completely opposite of you and face all that. Let's not be stupid. But just to go to my tweet, my response to this, and I said, so forget the storytelling, forget the character development, forget making actual memories for the fans. Now we're resorting to literal circus talk. Because that's exactly what this is. Again, context is very important in this situation. And context is very important because, yeah, you can say, oh, Corn, this is a 30-second clip of the entire... Yeah, 100%. And one could even say that, yes, he's talking about people or getting people to watch the product. I saw somebody commenting that earlier. They're like, he's not talking about the fans, guys. Well, if he's not talking about the fans, then why would he say that sometimes people take it too seriously? Sometimes people get too caught up in it. And then he goes on to say, yeah, there's real things and fucked up things going on in the world, but, we're just here to entertain you guys for a couple hours. Well, if that were the case, entertain us. Give us those storylines. Give us those good, because he's absolutely right. It's for us to go in, and it's not to completely turn your mind off. But yes, wrestling is one of those things where you can go in and turn your mind off and relax and have fun and great and have great entertainment. 100%. But let's not get lost on the fact that Triple H, you've been fucking up for quite some time. The receipts have been there. And the fact that he comes out here and uses this actual wording is very concerning for me as a fan. Just a couple days ago, the quote-unquote insiders came out and said that SmackDown says that there's a need for tag teams on their roster. The same SmackDown that axed half of their freaking roster, at least half of their tag teams on their roster, and any other tag teams that they had on their roster, they threw over there on AAA. Oh, by the way, Triple H, speaking of AAA, Dominic Mysterio has been Triple H champion since the end of last year, towards the end of last, maybe like fall. I want to say it was like October, November time frame when he won the AAA title. Where's his steam? Because he lost it all since then. Where are we getting Dominic Mysterio at now in all of this? Because this guy was hot for years. And lost that steam in a matter of 7 months. But yet it's just WWE is supposed to be fun. Well, fam, let me tell you something. Not this past Monday, but the Monday before that, I fell asleep watching the show. I fell asleep in the middle of Monday Night Raw. And I never fall asleep watching wrestling. That's when I woke up. It was a literal wake-up call, if you will, where I had to just take a step back and say, oh, fuck, man. Like, I keep trying to watch WWE. I keep trying to watch Raw, SmackDown. NXT is so far gone, I can't even watch that shit anymore. But I keep trying to watch Raw and SmackDown, and I'm like, bruh, it's a literal headache watching it. You got the Bloodline storyline, which is literally the only interesting storyline in all WWE right now, which is very sad. You've got Liv Morgan, who is your women's world champion, who is supposed to be the prize after King of the Ring tournament and the finals of the King of the Ring tournament, fam. You have Jey Uso, who has been foreshadowed to face Cody Rhodes for the WWE title, going up against Obafemi in the finals, who has been foreshadowed to face Brock Lesnar in a rubber match. And I don't know how many times we have to put Brock Lesnar in these best out of 3 matches, and he loses them. But yeah. WWE is just supposed to be good old fun. That's what we're good. Just good old fashioned fun. There's only one problem. It's not fun. Not right now. And the other thing is that Triple H, I want to give him his flowers at least in this sense, or I guess it's say his credit, because this video is pretty much bashing Triple H and his booking, and then now coming on Stephen A. Smith, which pretty much, again, is ESPN. Like, let's not get lost on that fact. All right. Let's not get lost on the fact that this is a safety net interview. That's exactly what this is. A safety net interview, because it's... Who is Stephen A. Smith working for? Who is Triple H and WWE and TKO in bed with? ESPN. It's not hard to figure out what this is and what they're doing. Triple H is in on this, and it's very sad to see. It's very sad to see the downfall. Dude, I would much rather have... I know he can't be this anymore, especially in the climate that we're in and corporate business and blah, 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 and entertainment in general. But man, we should have Triple H the asshole as the head boss in WWE. The guy that actually cares about wrestling as the head honcho in WWE. Not whoever the fuck this guy is. So I will give Triple H the credit in this sense, is that he actually does, and even did, obviously, because he's still in the position, but he's always had the self-awareness to be in the one job, in the one position where he can make the most difference in the business. Because obviously, being in creative for WWE, that's the top of the top. You've got your hand in a lot of cookie jars in terms of stories, in terms of different characters, and then other characters you can pluck from NXT and pluck from other places and create even more story and create even better stories. Why are they not doing it? They dropped the ball with, they called him JC Mateo, but Jeff Cobb. They're dropping the ball with Royce Keys. You got Solo Sikoa now feuding with Roman. Like, why are we just regurgitating the same stupid shit? CM Punk left after WrestleMania, and we never saw him again. We haven't seen CM Punk since the week after Mania. AJ took her ball and went home. The woman who literally came back a year ago and said, oh, I'm here to elevate the younger women and the newer women and just elevate the entire women's division and help bring everybody up. She wrestled 3 different women in her entire run and took a break in the middle of her run, by the way. Like, this is the inconsistency that I'm talking about. Triple H is consistently inconsistent. Yes, we heard Paul Heyman the other day on Chris Van Vliet's podcast saying, pretty much explaining to us what the actual levels and the process is like with trying to get creative, things passed in creative control. I get it. It's a completely different process than when Vince was there. It was one guy that could say yes or no, thumbs up or thumbs down, 100%. But now it's a completely different process, and I get it. But Triple H is well respected enough to say, hey, to put his foot down and say, hey, I got a hold of this. I can get a hold of this. I can make this better than what we've been doing. Because, yes, when you look at the tickets sold and numbers, cool. Good job, WWE. Good job, TKO. With continuing to screw people out of money. Cool. But the number one difference is Vince McMahon put the product and the storylines, so now whether they were actually good or not, hit or miss. But Vince McMahon always put the fucking just making fans happy. He put the fans first. Always tried his best and did his best at putting the fans first. And then we can worry about the money. Don't get me wrong, they still care about the money. Vince still cared about making the money. Still getting those views, those eyeballs on the screen. Still getting them tickets sold. Still getting them asses in seats. 100, yes, I get it. But TKO has done a complete opposite. They've cared about the money first and then care about the product second. And when you do that, look, man, I'm no math major or anything like that, but probably not going to succeed that well in terms of fan happiness when you do that. We've talked about how Vince McMahon price tickets and everything else for families, and how TKO and go back to when I talked about when Stevie Richards said that he had a guy, or maybe it was David Otunga, one of the two, they were talking about on their show saying that they had a guy that they knew out in Arizona and some buttfuck middle of nowhere company that got free tickets for him and his family to WrestleMania at the last minute. Through the company, not even from somebody that bought the tickets, through the company. Yeah, bro. So when I say WWE's down bad, they're down bad in more ways than one. More ways than one. And that is why I call this what Triple H said about, oh, it's just supposed to be fun. Don't get too wrapped up in it. Don't take it too serious. Really? Were we saying to not take wrestling too serious when we had Rock and Stone Cold in the middle of the ring at WrestleMania? Or The Rock and Hogan in the middle of the ring at WrestleMania? Or Triple H and Jericho in the middle of the ring at WrestleMania? Or Kenny and Undertaker at WrestleMania 20? Or Benoit, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, yourself in the main event at WrestleMania 20? Were we told not to take it too serious in that very same pay-per-view? Which I keep talking about WrestleMania 20 is my favorite WrestleMania. If you guys don't really catch my drift. Eddie Guerrero and Kurt Angle Or hell, even the year before that, WrestleMania 19. Not to take it too serious when we had Booker T and Triple H one-on-one for the World Heavyweight title. Triple H took that part serious. Because wasn't Booker T supposed to win that? And I still defend Triple H in that aspect to this day. To this day. But we got to call a spade, fam. We got to call a spade. I really do want to know, though, and I'm being serious when I say this, if the wrestlers feel the same way as Triple H. Don't take it too serious. The fans shouldn't take it too serious. They just come and eat popcorn and just enjoy the show. It's not that simple. Because if that was simple, you wouldn't be named WWE. You'd be named AEW. Fact. So watching this video of Triple H sitting around and talking like he's like, this is pretty much Tony Khan language right here. TKO has officially cooked WWE. And Triple H is going down. Now, again, when I say the ship is going down, obviously I'm not saying WWE is going down. But what I'm saying is this is a very turn of the tide, and not in a good way. Like this is a hard left for WWE to take right now. And I don't know if wrestling is ever going to be the same. Because how many times has Triple H come out between last year and this year and said, this is a new era before every big PLE? A lot. A hell of a lot. But yeah, WWE is supposed to be fun. But just a couple days ago, Paul Heyman came out in that very same interview that I just referenced earlier about with Chris Van Vliet. And came out the side of his mouth and said, I don't know why we aren't ever nominated for an Emmy. Longest running television show. Nobody else can do what we do, which is facts. That's what makes pro wrestling so great. But I don't think Monday Night Raw or SmackDown should ever be nominated for a fucking Emmy. Not until we get our shit straight. Not until we get these stories straight. Not until we get people actually invested in these characters. Because right now, yeah, you got a handful of characters that people like, that we love chanting their names, we love doing their fucking interests. Yeet and Obafemi, ooh, Oba, ooh, yeah, all that shit. Cool. But how many people are actually being invested in these matches? How many people are actually saying, oh man, I can't wait for Night of Champions this weekend? All the wrestling fans I know, I haven't heard a peep about Night of Champions for this weekend. And we're less than 48 hours away. So yeah, like I said, Triple H, this sounds like a Tony Khan response rather than an actual response in terms of the criticism from your actual fans with WWE's shows and their content. But I don't know, man. Hit that like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let me know what you guys think. Am I overreacting? Hit me up in the comments. It's your boy Corn, and I am OUT.